All right, well, I am going to be opening that layers panel as I'm working today, so you can kind of see how I use it, and hopefully that'll be easier for you. Like I said, kind of keeping us out of that object menu so much, which is nice. All right, so let's get started in chapter 6. Okay, so I already opened the chapter 6 document, but there's actually one that we're going to create before we start with this one. And I'm really proud. Some of you have already done this, so that's awesome. Like that you feel comfortable and went in there and took some initiative. All right, so chapter 6, working with patterns and brushes. So this first assignment here, we're going to create our own document, and then the second one, we're going to be using the document that you will download. There's also a brush in here that we're going to be applying. It's a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file, and you don't need to open it. Just FYI, just download it, and I'll show you how to put it into your Illustrator document, but don't worry about having Photoshop for that one. Okay, so your Cengage textbook, go ahead and get that open, and we'll start in chapter 6, lesson 1. All right, so we're going to be working with the move command, which is a part of your transform tools. However, when we move things with our tools, we are usually using our selection tool. There isn't actually a move tool. So the move command actually happens under object transform. You have to have something selected here. Let me just grab something. Object transform, and then you'll see there's move in there. So that's where we're going to be working. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, let me get this just a little bit bigger because I can't see. I don't know why it doesn't save. Seems like the Cengage textbook saves everything else that I do in here. It doesn't seem to save my inability to see. Oh, no worries, Nick. Glad to see you. All right, so first thing we're going to do is create a new document. This is going to be a 4x4-inch document. So really important thing to note, you should have all of your Illustrator apps set up to default in inches. This is one of those times where if it's not, it's going to mess you up. So if you do not have your app set to inches, you'll go to Edit, Preferences, and then Units here, and just go ahead and click the drop down to go to inches. All right, so we'll be going into File, New. They don't like for me to adjust the size of this box. So 4x4 inches, we're going to name it checkerboard. Make sure our units are in inches, and okay. So or again, confirm, that says inches, and then we don't need to do anything else here but click create. All right, so here we go. So use the rectangle tool, create a 1/2 inch square and apply a red fill with no stroke. Then position it to the upper left corner of the artboard. No problem, Iris, glad to see you got here. So let's see. Oh, Izzy, I can help you with that after class. That may be an issue with your RAM with the Neuro session going. All right, so back to these instructions right here. Rectangle tool. Click once on the tool, click once on the artboard, and then 1/2 inch, 0.5, 0.5, and OK. And so by default, mine has a black stroke with a red fill, and we want, or I'm sorry, with a white fill. We want it to have a red fill and no stroke. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop open my little color box here and just sample in the red. And if I haven't shown this to you, you can pull this down and get more varieties of red if you would like. And then I'm going to click on my fill and the none, or you can click the none down here. And then tuck that back in. All right, so I have my smart guides on. So Control U to turn those on to make sure that you are able to snap up here. So I think I just turned mine off. Control U. Hold on. Let's investigate. Why am I not snapping? Smart guides. There we go. All right. So the next step says click object on the menu bar, point to transform, and then click move. So object, transform, move. And it opens this little dialog box for us. Enter 0.5 in the horizontal text box, and then press tab and enter 0 in the vertical text box. Then press tab again. So horizontal, 0.5. Tab just moves you to the next box. Click 0. And then tab again. Go to the bottom. So with this, I'm creating a copy. So we'll just click copy here. So now I have 2 red squares. And what happened with the move is that I asked it to move that original 1/2 inch square over 1/2 inch. So it went directly beside my original square. Now I'm going to change the fill to black. Select both squares, click object again, transform, then click move. All right, so first thing, change this to black. Oh, I was on stroke. Oops. Make sure you activate the fill, then change to black. All right, and now I'm going to select both. Go back to object, transform, move. And so this time I want to move, or I'm sorry, I want to make a copy of both squares, right? 1/2 inch plus a 1/2 inch is a whole inch. So I'm going to have it move a copy 1 inch on the horizontal axis. So I'm going to click 1 in here, keep everything else 0, and then click copy. And so now I have a nice little duplicate here. So the cool thing about the move command being a transform tool is that we can use our transform again to repeat this. So remember that Control D, very easy. I'll go object, transform, transform again, or Control D on your keyboard. And then repeat one more time, Control D. Nice, so we have 1 row finished. Now select all, open the move dialog box, enter 0 in the horizontal text box and 0.5 in the vertical text box, then click copy. So we're going to be selecting all of these and telling the move box to move down a copy a 1/2 inch. So horizontal is 0 now, vertical is 0.5. And copy. Okay, so in order for us to get the checkered pattern, we're now going to use the rotate tool. So double click the rotate tool, enter 180 in the angle box, and then click OK. So it's right here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down or so. You'll double click this with your mouse to get the little box and type in 180. And then click OK. And so now, yay, my checkerboard has started. So now I'm going to select all of these and then use the move dialog box to create a copy that's going to move down 1 inch. So select all of them, object, transform, move. And in the vertical box, you'll put 1 and copy. And so to finish the second half, all I have to do now is transform again. So just do Control D. I think twice will do it. Control D, Control D. And there you go. So you'll save and submit that file for your first Dropbox in Chapter 6.